To some, this is nothing more than cardboard and ink. But to those who know, these are precious metals, rare gems, a full set it took 15 years to complete. Low-pop rookies, hypnotizing hollows, one of only a handful in the universe, or an heirloom to look after for the next generation. No matter what you collect, raw or graded, to have and to hold, or to crush your opponents with, what matters is that it's real. Introducing eBay's Authenticity Guarantee for trading cards. Our third-party authenticators inspect every detail of your card and compare it to the listing to make sure it's the real deal or no deal, because we know just how much your collection means to you.
Finally, you can stay in control of your thumbsticks. Natural evolution gave the gecko its amazingly strong grip. Our multi-patented SetX technology duplicates the microstructured fibers on a gecko's foot for a revolutionary new way to get a grip on game controller thumbsticks. Like a gecko's foot, the thousands of microstructures on each SetX anti-slip thumbstick grip provide high friction to the skin surface for a secure, comfortable grip, even when sweaty, giving you a competitive advantage. Stay in control with the secure and comfortable grip of SetX thumbstick grips. Inspired by nature, perfected by science.
What a decisive first map from DSG. Disguised Toast. I imagine he's watch Barton. He's feeling good. I feel good about your team as well. Now, Oxygen Esports down 0-1. It's myself, Sully, and Up Mine here to cover the action. It's a very tricky situation in Oxygen Esports because now we're going to ascent our second map, which at least between us two, we were talking, it's a much more dominant map for Disguise.
Yeah, of course, a lot more dominant. 6-0 record for this team throughout this tournament, but that kind of relies on the fact that you're playing a lot of those early teams on the map, because I would like to think that most tier 2, tier 3 teams are picking out Ascent, but we just have to look over towards the fact that throughout that first map, it was an organizational nightmare for Oxygen. They finally got themselves together, they finally got the minds together after the timeout, but they still weren't able to put it together.
Yeah, I like to think that obviously a lot of people kind of are steel, the traditional steel calling is go literally at a snail's pace and don't move for 30 seconds, but it worked, and it worked well. And again, we talked about how this is kind of Steel's redemption arc. He had a great first map, 14-12, was one of the really key players when it comes to those lurks, and he set his team up with his calling and with his style of finding and kind of maneuvering around the map that even Clear, who was playing a Viper, and again, he's one of the new bloods that not a lot of people know about, but let me remind you, you will know him by the end of this series, by this time Split 1 starts of Challengers. 6 first bloods. Somehow, that slow style that even on a controller agent, Clear was still fighting first blood after first blood, played exceptionally well, and in comparison to the other Viper, Scuba, on the side of Oxygen Esports, played well himself, but not enough. When a solo effort like Scuba comes through, you need a supporting cast that is there as well to assist him, and I think Scuba just simply was not enough to carry his team through. Even though they lost 13-4, he had 21 kills and had the most ACS in the server. Yeah,
and also, of course, it didn't really help that he was the one getting the first contacts. He had 4 first contacts in the on the defensive side, and he split them. He went 2 first deaths, 2 first kills, so it kind of makes sense. But the rest of the team, we've seen a lot of success from a lot of them individually. We just can't see it on the defensive side. They just need that support. But what happened with some of the setups over towards mid? Because we saw a lot of investment from Oxygen in terms of that B link, and nothing ended up coming to fruition from that one spot. There was just a lot of individual moments and individual spots that just kept running back and back and back again for Oxygen, and they just couldn't fix them.
Yeah, and I feel like going into the second map, it will be up to Oxygen to make these adjustments around this slow style, because there's not much of a stylistic difference between maps when it comes to Steel's calling from what we've seen when he was on 100 Thieves, when he was on T1. We know he likes to play slow. And how are Oxygen going to adapt around that and essentially exploit the space? Because there were times in those 4 rounds that they did win, it was them taking space on the defensive side in areas where Steel was lurking, punishing Steel on those lurks, and giving them big 4v5 advantages where they have a good conversion rate. They're able to win these 4v5s or these 5v4 advantages. But when you are playing to Steel style and you're not kind of exploiting and abusing that space that he's willing to give you in these slow styles where it's him watching one extremity or it's someone else watching one extremity, if you're not finding those first bloods and willing to get aggressive, he will take you for your money and he will exploit that slow style as much as he can.
And I mean, disguised, I mean, that slow style might come into effect again on Ascent, and I want to say it will. Yeah, they do.
No,
have
it
a
will.
jet.
It will. It's Steel. We know he's gonna call it slow. He always calls slow.
Yeah, and it ended up working a lot on their attacking side because if I'm not mistaken right now, their attacking side win rate is like 70%, and they ended up destroying NSIC on it. If I'm not mistaken, it was 10-2 in their attacking half. So, okay, right, whatever. That pressure on the attacking side is going to be there, but Oxygen, we still could have seen some sort of backup from them on their attacking side. Ascent gives them a lot more of those opportunities, or at least a lot more opportunities for some 50-50 type trades. But is that still enough for them to be able to take a map like Ascent? Is that enough for them to kind of take that same mentality from Pearl and take it onto Ascent?
Look, I know you're talking about Ascent being a 50-50 map. And yeah, the agents, right, they have a jet. Maybe they play a little bit faster, I think, for at least the side of Disguise. But 50-50s are non-existent when you are up against a team that is methodical and manipulating the map. And I think that's what Steel does really, really well, is that he's able to put pressure on one part of the map, understands what kind of shift that does based on his players in mid, his player in B main. He knows, okay, this player has moved. Okay, what contact is made there? He knows what's going on. And so these 50-50s, you're funneling into the way Steel wants to play. So I'm looking for these guys, right? They have Mitch on the breach, it looks like. They have Verno on the Sova. We want to see Pony get into spots where he can control one core part of the map, and then it's up to the rest of his team to judge. Scuba, phenomenal sight anchor on the controller. We're looking for Pony to work the other side of the map and remove space from this Steel kind of calling.
Yeah, of course we need it, right? But what about some of the players like Scuba who could be able to lurk? I want to see a little bit more of that success because we saw a lot of attempts of it on Pearl, a lot of mid contact from their attacking side, and nothing, right? No sort of opportunity whatsoever for them to get into that. I don't know if, of course, Disguise is going to avoid any sort of 1v1 contacts early, but on a map like Ascent where mid is very open and B is very, it's very tempting for you to get into that 1v1, for you to get into that peak. I'm just wondering how far Disguise are actually going to want to go with those.
Yeah, and I think that for Disguise, it's, okay, how do we avoid Pony, who's now on this jet, right? Because you're talking about mid being open, and that's where the op is going to shine. Pony on the defensive side, I mean, both of these players, both Clear and Pony, rarely pick up the op on the attack, and now that Pony is on the defensive side, it's, does Clear go for, by the way, has an under 5% attacking op pick? Does he elect to pick up the op a little bit more frequently? And does he try and challenge Pony in these instances? But with a slow style, I mean, the op doesn't really work with that pick, so you need Clear to take space and kind of be someone on the other side of the map that Steel is working to give him and feed him that info with his aggressive style and his ability to get in and get out and get frags.
We need at least that step up because we saw a lot of shutdown of the duelists. We saw a lot of shutdown from Disguised. They can do it. This sort of comp has faltered against Disguised, but Oxygen, they need a second fresh breath. It's going to be a full takeover towards A to start map 2.
And the redemption of Steel from 100 Thieves to T1, now to Disguised Toast. Fast take, and that's what you want. Pony to get aggressive, looking for this info. He hears a lot. He knows there's a lot, and he's going to go down to the end. Maybe overextends. No one there to support him. And that's what Disguise are looking for. That aggression. Again, I told you, they'd sit back and just wait for you.
I'm sure he's going to think about that in the next few rounds, but we'll see that attempt again. We'll see the jet peeking out again.
These 5-on-4s for Disguise have been so clean, especially with the first bloods that they've been able to amass. An 83% conversion rate. And they cut noise. Completely cut noise on this A hit. Mitch tucked in towards Cat, looking for anyone on a late lurk, particularly I imagine Steel as he comes back to throw these smokes out. And out they come, Clear to take first contact on his site, nothing there to stop him. And that's Disguise getting the site for free. Even with Steel going down, they've taken the site control, and in this pistol round, if they can maintain on-site control, this one should be theirs.
Rotation's coming in a bit late too. They don't get that full information that they wanted out of Heaven. They don't actually know how many players are coming out. It's 3. All water falling out. Still have one over towards Cat. Could be able to burst out of that gate ASAP. But this is Clear. Playing whack-a-mole. Getting 3. All headshots for Clear. And all too easy for Disguise. They open up the second map.
Again, a man that you will know by the end of this match. Clear. If you haven't watched him yet on any of their side streams or when he was on the mainstream, take note of him now. A true star in the making, and he's under some of the best mentorship in North America. Ocean, who fostered a rookie Knights lineup into qualifying towards the group stage. Steel, who has fostered generations of North American talent. And now Disguise, taking a step closer to that challenger spot. Don't want to solidify it just yet. But still, it seems Oxygen do not have a response for the way this has gone, for this slow style of Steel's calling.
What sort of questions are they asking themselves here? 3 players, 4 players on the A side, and not a single contact anywhere. I don't think they hear anything over towards B. They don't hear the turret back over towards mid. We might get something here from Exalt. That knife could be massive, and indeed, it's actually not. That was pretty close. Randy Savage backs on out. Same thing with the Jet. Only able to get info on one, and they had no idea that that was the KJ. Here comes the pushback, though. Back in the main.
Steel is working his way up again. Always his lurk and Ziff. Not too far behind. It's Scuba. Verno left alone. Verno, who again, massive in yesterday's best of 3, has been quiet from the first map. Hoping he lights up in the second. As Scuba left alone in this 1 versus 4. And I think for Scuba, yeah, a lot of expectations on him. 21 kills in that last map. Has always been a top performer when he was on Knights. Has been consistently good on Oxygen. I think we're looking at him to kind of be a key factor again for Oxygen Esports. He was key in that last map. Again, they lost 13-4, but still had Scuba on 21 kills. So, looking to see what he can do. He's going to want to go down to the spike here as Disguise. 4 players staying alive, so it's 4 weapons carried over into the next. Almost a full bonus. As it was Steel the only one to go down, but I imagine he's just going to go down to a pistol. So 2-0 start for Disguise. As Scuba goes down to the spike, and things are cooking up. As the bonus for Disguise. And we'll see if they want to go for a fast play. I imagine not.
What you said is a common theme, by the way. Scuba getting top frags on maps that they lose. The last map that they ended up losing was 3 rounds ago, and it was against 99 strength. And the 1 map that they ended up losing, ironically, Ascent, you had Scuba with 3-4 kills above everyone. So, I mean, Disguised have a few threats to deal with, surely on that Oxygen side, but this is finally the round where they come out.
It's a little bit faster here from Disguise as well. Oxygen kind of know the stakes. This is the round where things kind of peel away from you if you're not able to win it, especially on the bonus. And they're not contacting at all in A. They're playing a full retake here as Clear dashing into the site, wants to get aggressive. Scuba good to find the first pick, but there might be a trade as Mitch bullets galore towards his face, and Clear has removed the other threat, Scuba out of the mix.
Yeah, the speed run into Heaven ended up working out perfectly for Clear, and now there's 3 players there. This is such a good off angle. It's just a 1 and done, right? But in a 4v4, you need any advantage that you can get. He's just easily dropped down. Oh, but his Aladrone doesn't spot him. This is good.
And there's no smoke to remove this late lurk in towards A main. And Clear, up top, is going to take the turret contact. Actually does get stunned.
No way he got stunned. He got stunned from that? No, down into sight, he goes down. The trades go galore. Exalt now in 1v2. No, excuse me, Pony in a 1v2. He ends up taking down Exalt, but he still had Ziff for the insurance policy. But wow, that fault line almost did it all.
Yeah, this is a great round from Disguised. A little bit of a quicker take off the bonus. I stand corrected. They did want to go fast. And it's clear, who does a great job of recognizing, okay, we lose a player out front. There's no one on the A site. Let me get into heaven and try and exploit any gaps in this retake. And he finds Scuba. Again, a heavy hitter, removes the smoke sprayer and gives Randy Savage, or apologies, Ziff the ability to play an A main uncovered. And Ziff there for the final kill. 3-0 start as Disguised. Winning out their bonus. And Oxygen. Scuba, a switch up in their setup, alone on the A site. As these three players who had pushed A are now pushing towards B.
A 3-man spray to try to take down one person getting an orb. Pony's gone. And it was a big mission for Oxygen, so it'll be kind of awkward to see if they actually rotate from this and how they do it.
There. Suppressing.
Knife going out late here. Gangsta. They actually commit this null command. Trying to remove any possibilities of any KJ util here, but Disguised. Full site take, and Ziff, good to clean up these lurks. He's the one lurking instead of Steel this time around, and so tucked into the logs, Steel, 5-on-3 is Oxygen. Looking for any possible damage at this point in time. Is Steel able to catch just the edge of Randy Savage. For Steel, up close here with a shorty now. Up against a judge of all things, the bigger version of his weapon. Nice blind, and he baits him out. Baits him out nicely. There you go, Steel. Easy does it. A flawless round looks like here for Disguised Toast Esports. I wonder if that'll be their name in the future. Disguised Toast Esports.
DTE? Disguised Toast Esports. I like DSG though. Disguised. Unless you want to get like the full brand in.
I want an LLC from him, a patent, copyright infringement, intellectual property of Disguised Toast Esports.
I mean, they don't even have a logo. They still have the stick figures, which I honestly think they should keep.
I think their logo is literally just his Twitch profile, but Disguised will have
no,
their full buyback.
it's the line drawing.
Pony. He picks up the op this time around, and this time is, I mean, he picks it up more frequently here on the defense, but that's a great way to counter him, the turret. Forcing him off the angle. Now it's slower from Disguised. They want to see what Oxygen have, and another switch up in their setup. They've now moved the KJ Oxygen to this A site and left Pony to work mid alone. He does have support of Erno, but he's just there to help him get out.
He shifts back, and there's no sort of util for them to play around, but this is, again, just Disguised playing with the timing again of Oxygen. Just with one peak, too.
No mid control is going to keep some of these players here on Oxygen locked into the B side, and with only 2 players here on A. No early rotates, banking on the fact that, well, Randy Savage is good enough here with Scuba to hold it down. He has an extra star available, which he has now dropped. A gravel set up there for Door. Randy Savage to just stay alive in the back. As Scuba up top, the high-low swing.
Yeah, this is so much delay here. They have a nanostorm in the middle of sight, and here comes the dash. Clears up front. They pull out the pull, and Steel's already there with a TP. Good stuff onto Randy Savage.
Just so fast into this site, Disguised, giving Oxygen no time to react. A quiet walk-up. No Q into this hit.
10 seconds left.
And Oxygen left, wondering where they went wrong. Another full buy round.
Oh my God.
Puts a waste. The op will be saved. Same thing with Mitch's Vandal. But a 5-0 start for Disguised. And yeah, similar to that first map, this is where things kind of feel like they start to pull away from them. A dominant start for Disguised. Again, spearheaded by Clear as he continues to enter into sites. And Oxygen have been nowhere to be seen.
Last player standing.
Oh, Steel.
Oh, Jeez, and it just keeps getting worse.
They're trying to hunt the op down as well. Pony's just gonna have to hold in this back site.
Enemy kill.
Okay. At least one thing, but they just need to hold on to the op. They
Maybe
need
not even. Maybe not even.
the op. No, Steel. Okay. Pony, cheeky, but Steel was already incredibly low. Okay, timeout in other. Okay, timeout. I mean, surely they couldn't time it any earlier. But this is really when the game starts to slip out of their hands. It's 5-0, one more round, 6-0. Surely you don't have money enough for the 7. I mean, every single one of these rounds, Sully, that Disguised Toast, where this team are expected to win, they take it so cleanly.
And I think for a map that a lot of people consider defensive-sided, this is an Oxygen Esports kind of disaster in my eyes. This timeout will be Juvenile kind of prepping the team to say, okay, what do we need to adjust? I think one of the things that maybe they're not recognizing is the fact that every exec is not a last second pop, but a full contact walk up. That's how these rounds have gone. That's the 5th clear dash into A site, or the 4th clear dash into A site. I think they hit the B site 1 time. And there's no drone to queue it up. There's no dart to queue it up. It's just he goes in, sits in his smoke, and then the util comes after. So it'll be up to Oxygen to see how do we exploit that. And what the setup switch is. They've moved the KJ from A, now back to mid, over towards his B side. They are on an eco, and they're going to try and work around this Pony AW or op.
Are they going to put it in a pivotal early spot? Maybe over towards Cat? Yeah, they are. Okay. Might just be in that 1v1 against the KJ if they even peak, but what is for the 6th round in a row? Not a single close peek, not a single early contact peek from Disguise. They're just holding back in their spawn. I mean, imagine how tempted all of these Oxygen players are.
Yeah, now they're going to spot Pony or no? Creeps out in front of the smoke. But does he dare take a peek? He's asking for a flash there. He wants a flash there. He wants to get queued up, and yeah, he does. But he doesn't go for the peek instead. He sits, waits in the smoke to fade, and then he gets one. That's a big opening there for the side of Oxygen, but how do they recuperate? Disguise, up back towards mid. All 4 players this time around, no lurks.
They're finally going to make a full B take here. These 2 players in the back. One of them has a stinger. No idea what Randy has, but it might not be good. It might just be a pistol. This is tough. Verno trying to help out, but that's actually even better. Aftershock to shut down stairs. 40 seconds left, so it's not exactly chomping time off the board. And Disguise are finally getting the kills they need. One more player in the back line. Randy Savage down to 5. He'll be done in a flash.
And we're going to see if this is an instance where Oxygen want to save the operator again as Pony. Good to find one. Scuba tucked into his grenade, doesn't work. And Exalt goes down 2 versus 2.
Wait a minute.
And we don't know the util just yet, but Steel in the back and Clear up close. Op and knives for Pony.
Ooh, 1 knife, but that's more than enough to take down the low Clear. And not only that, but picks up a Vandal to make the odds a bit easier. Here we go. Double red, shotgun out, 1 bullet will do it. Indeed takes down Clear, 1 more to go. Steel needs the headshots. The trigger discipline was almost spotless, but Pony takes down the last 2.
And he comes up huge. Finally, Oxygen with something. And it's in the form of a mid-read. I think an understanding here from Oxygen is that smoke is Disguise's way of saying that, yeah, we never had mid control, but this is us trying to take it back. Especially that knife combo. I think that's the read that they made, and it was a good one. Pony coming up huge with 4. But it's these hero plays that I question, are they replicable? They came out of that timeout, and yeah, they went around, but it's again, off the back of a solo play from Pony himself.
Kill all.
I mean, if it works, you might as well just keep going after it. Pony has put himself in yet another pivotal spot early on, with 4 players on this side of the map and B. Pony's just waiting for a contact. There's the Vandal. They don't know that the op is here. Flash doesn't get anything, and Pony gets the first frag. Doesn't even have the dash just yet. The recon bolt spots him, but Pony wants to hit and dash. Spray in.
You should run.
Are they going to be able to get another one? Yes, they do. How do they get it? 1 person to the back of sight, trying to distract the lockdown in to spread everyone away, but Verno could get the big kill onto Steel. It's not going to happen.
A little bit risky there from Verno to try, and I feel play that back site. We'll see how this goes. They Mission to go thunder, but he doesn't get stunned. Zip with an opportunity to keep his team in it, but instead, no. Seal spam through the box, and Yoden from Gangsta has no bullets in it. He just has shocks and a classic. But they're not pushing. They're not willing to give him anything. A scuba comes from the right side. And a second round for Oxygen. Off again, the operator of Pony.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why not? If Pony, especially on a map like Ascent, where you can get light and easy first contacts and be able to back up, if it works, it works. But I don't know how much Oxygen can actually just work around it, especially if Pony's just not on that site. These rotations from Oxygen, they've been good, they've been fast. But this next round, Disguise might give them a big test on A.
And Pony's just been good to find these first bloods, which he's found now 2 times in back-to-back rounds. But this time he's not taking the more aggressive op angle, he's going to sit back. And I think now Disguise are realizing, okay, we need to be a little bit more wary of this op play.
Whoa.
And a dart in towards Stream. We'll give them this control. Pony with the operator once more. Smoke in front, nearly catches Clear. But it's Mitch instead in Tree.
Clear's gone. Out of nowhere, Mitch actually gets that frag, and here comes the retake of Cat, actually. Oxygen put on a bit of pressure, but Exalt is the one with the frag. One already in the middle of sight. Pony looking to retake, but with the gate open, Mitch just swinging it wide open. There goes Ziff. At least taking him down, but Ziff maintains this position. This cross is going to be very difficult for Oxygen.
Inferno and Pony need to hold in towards Tree to allow this lockdown to go in as a spike. Already on site, and Ziff knows he needs to fight. A great bait and a lockdown to come through. Baits it out.
There's a rush.
With 40 seconds left, and they're starting to fight. Exalt knows what he needs to do. Breaks down the lockdown, and a 2-on-2. Exalt left in the clutch. Taking the peek as Pony takes the fight, looks for another, needs a one. But he has a spike in his hands. Has a lockdown, or apologies, has a null commit, but that doesn't come into effect here.
And they spotted the spike too. They spotted Exalt with this spike on their radar. 20 seconds left. Will he make this run? He is. Oxygen haven't walked. They're still waiting for a pixel. He's gonna have enough time to plant.
10 seconds left.
What?
Surely not.
Oh my goodness, Exalt. Trying to give himself any sort of advantage here, again, especially because it's 37 HP.
Oh. And Exalt,
Did he fake it?
I think he might know that one is in towards Bodas, but is worried about that land. He can only hold one. And with no util to work with. And you can see Pony's expecting an aggressive play from... They're both expecting aggressive plays from Exalt. And now they start to realize with the time taken, they need to get a move on. Exalt has made no effort. He's sitting in the backside. Wants the angle. Has a headshot lineup onto one. Both are approaching, and he gets one. Lineup nearly. The spike tap, not stuck. Exalt, there to bait, there to swing, and he almost has it. Bait and switch. Verna will get it at the last second.
I mean, finally, the hard-fought round for Oxygen that they've been wanting. Of course, they've been taking up a lot of momentum just from plays from Pony. But that one, they needed to take away Exalt. They needed to chip away at that defense, chip away at that cat spot, and they were able to finally do it. Finally some momentum, finally some confidence. We get a timeout too. I mean, Disguise, they definitely know good timings for timeouts. I mean, if there's ever a round, Oxygen have a lot of momentum right now.
This is where Ocean comes in and makes slight adjustments that we saw him do in that first map. I think this was around the point as well where Oxygen found 3 rounds in a row. And Disguise had gone 4-0 up. This is the exact moment that Ocean had a word in.
The last time that they took a timeout, only 1 round was won after.
Exactly. So Oxygen, I know that they need to adjust as well. No, they need to make some kind of change now in preparation for what Disguise want to do, but it's anticipating what they will switch up. There's a null command to play with here for Disguise. I didn't get to see the buy fully, but if they have a buy, this might be the round where they elect to use it. Oxygen, though, they've been playing well. Off of the Pony 8 operator, I think has been a key thing for them. He's starting to come alive, and in an instance on the defensive side where he picks up the op 30% of the time, he's finally finding these kills. Finally finding the opening frags that he needs for his team, and giving them advantageous 5v4 situations to win. And he's solo opping out towards me. This is extremely risky, though.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it is just the solo. You would hope some sort of utility could be had, but he just has the fault lines. Disguised, however, not making any moves over toward that area. It's just gonna be the null command to try to make their way into A. They clear out Wine. There's a big rotation. 3 players in the back of A currently. There goes the first flash. There goes the dashes. Pony not able to get anything. Randy Savage has been isolated. Can Randy get anything? Indeed, he gets 1 out of it. And not only that, but we're back to a 3v3.
Door close. Hunter's Fury tried to use by Oxygen. I think they're trying to trade the spike
Nice
over. Does a lockdown come through as well? Yes, it does. And Xif, he will utilize it here. There's no Hunter's Fury to break it 3-on-3. But this will buy time. And it pushes them back so far, unless they want to fight. No, it doesn't hit. It does. The shock plus the aftershock. But not enough. As Clear and Gangsta combine for 2. And Mitch.
What?
Sees the barrel of 1 on the wall. Needs the fight. Gets the blind. He has a chance. Mitch, are you kidding me? And a 1-on-1, bullets to the shoulder, and it's 5 HP for Gangsta to find 6.
I mean, you couldn't explain such an inexplicable situation, right? The flash goes in, the player had the angle, he turns back into the flash to make it into a 1v1. But everything else was marked very, very well by Oxygen. Pulling out that late Cosmic Divide, having the shocks to shut down the lockdown.
When Gangsta's needed most, Gangsta comes up big, I'll be honest. Another aggressive look is going in with a solo rifle.
Ooh.
Same as the pistol, gets shut down. And he wanted to get explosive. They cut him out. I mean, last round, or 2 rounds ago when he was on the op, last 3 rounds that Oxygen had picked up, he was probably the only reason why they pick up those rounds. And now with no rifle to play with, it's just pistols here, and so Oxygen relied on Pony for the past couple rounds. Does it fall back to Scuba, who, again, has been a big hero player? He has a stinger, and I don't know what it is. The stinger's just been OP lately.
Especially in my hands, Sully.
Yeah, alright.
No, Stingers have, they've been the same this entire time. They've always been good, Sully. You're just doubting. 2v4.
You're also
Do you doubt Oxygen?
I do doubt Oxygen.
No, I mean, I don't doubt Oxygen whatsoever. I just doubt your doubts. Because if you doubt the Stinger...
I mean, I doubt you purely because you are in... You have been hard stuck gold for 3 acts. And, you know,
Listen.
I know the Stinger's good because I am an Ascendant fragger. So I know what good Valorant gameplay looks like, and I know the Stinger has been good lately. The infamous up mine run and gun Stinger. And with no Stingers left in this one.
It's infamous for a reason, okay?
It's Oxygen, back on a full buy. Odin for Randy Savage for a second there, but Disguised. Clean round in the last. Pony back on the operator. Needs to, again, find the impact he had in those 3 rounds they won, because Disguised, I think that the round they won prior to that anti-eco, it had been a quick, not a quick pop, but an ultimate that prevented him from getting out, allowed Clear to get into the space, and with a lot of util dump, open it up. And I mean, this Disguise picking up the pace suddenly.
Again, because we just haven't seen it. It's good switch up in timing, but there's 3 people here in this B site. One of them ends up getting a big pick. But as they shift around this B site, I mean, they surely have it on lockdown. They have the KJ. They have the knives out immediately. Disguise, they haven't cleared out any of that util either. They're going straight into A, but there's only one person here.
One of the few times that Randy Savage plays on the B site, it's a back to an A hit.
That's
Scuba
unfortunate.
Looking to get one. They have the Rolling Thunder behind him to play off of. Scuba tucked in the corner.
Yeah, Randy's mad.
The door gets closed over on the B site. And Mitch, no noise. A quiet walk up. Back to what we're used to. And Steel swings to find Scuba. And this ult, it's going to deny the plant, but there's nobody to capitalize off of this from Oxygen.
3 players are here, 2 players are here over towards Heaven, trying to get this peek out, and it works out at least against 1 player who's stunned, but the crossfire is fully thereafter. That attempt just couldn't have worked there for Oxygen. They put everything into that one early Rolling Thunder, and it all falls apart. It's 8-3 going back to Disguised.
And it feels like the quick tempo change from Disguised was a ruse again. They kind of sacrificed clear down towards mid, and then just quietly walk in towards the A site. And Mitch, who wanted to use the Rolling Thunder to deny the plan and initiate the retake, the only issue is that no one was in position to quickly push off the Rolling Thunder. You gave time to these disguised players to reposition, and now we're looking at 8-3 again, possibly a 9.
Let's move.
And we know how critical this round is, because if it pulls away, I mean, Oxygen and a 9-3 deficit feels almost unrecoverable.
The KJ util was here last round. Would have been pretty efficient. But Disguise, they're not even committing to it.
You should
And Pony
run.
out towards mid, could find one as he does spot.
Ooh.
Spot at least one for now. That's Gangsta out in the open and clear, looking to dash off of this lockdown. Only one player in the back site, and we'll see how long Mitch can hold on to this.
Who knows? He might actually be able to do a lot here. Mitch shifting around.
Dinked.
Yeah, he takes on a lot of damage. But who knows? Who knows still? Flash comes out. Clear looking for him. He's still dodging bullets through the wall. And it didn't matter. Gangsta finally got him. He was dead from the beginning. Disguise, they have the site, but here comes the retake. No ultis to use for either team here in the last round. Zip is able to get one back. You still have Clear looking out for a big spot over towards stairs, but no one's crossing into it. Oxygen are taking their time.
Seal on this late lurk as well. Will catch Randy Savage completely off guard, removing another big avenue on this retake. In the last round of the half, it's Scuba to flick to find one, but still a rat in this corner has not been eradicated.
They're dealing with Zip too. Here comes
And
the shotgun.
another from Steel as Scuba ends up taking the bullet. And now just on the Pony. There's no one on the site.
The angle
They
there.
have to rush into him if he can get the headshot, but no. 9-3 as Disguise take the first half, and again, another dominant scoreline.
So utterly dominant, and the trend actually continues in terms of the timeout too. No rounds taken by Oxygen after the timeout from Disguised. And my oh my, Disguised on this attacking side where we wanted to see a lot of that push and pull. We wanted to see that steal play style once again, that calling play style. It happened. Such slow play in that first half.
And for players on this Oxygen lineup, specifically looking at Scuba, again, has always been consistent, has always been a top fragger for Oxygen side. At 4 and 9, an abysmal look from what we know Scuba to be. Pony has stepped up massively, but where one player steps up, another falls. It's not a worthwhile trade. Two players towards mid, and Seal up close and personal as Pony goes down to Exalt's trade. And a rework back in towards Catwalk. Already, Ziff not too far away.
Exalt, who had a pace of 60% of rounds that they played on the defensive side of Ascent, getting first kills. This is the map where he could have a whole lot of impact. He's coming out alone, I think, over towards mid. Oxygen, they made their way cleanly into mid. I wanted a little more, but it's just not going to happen. It's going to be a good, organized, slow retake.
Players under heaven. Great stun from Mitch to slow things down.
Look how slow this is from Exalt.
Is there a dart to follow? Is there an aftershock to follow? There is. Slowing them down even further. Buying time and space. And now Disguise have to get a move on. Great knife there to clutch players under heaven as Mitch goes 1 for 1. Great trades coming through.
Yeah, all three are spilling out too. What a shot from Clear. Now Scuba, 1v3, skating around, able to get one, but a whole lot of damage on the last two. Not the kills though. The defuse will come in for Disguise, but Oxygen, how many times do we have to say that one was so close?
The hop out from Disguise. A quick play back into the A site. I mean, it's a sacrifice. It goes 1 for 1 as Mitch, I think, gets one, and then instantly traded back there by Clear. And that trade was what set them up. Remove one player from under heaven, had just one player isolated there under there afterwards. From a 4-on-4 instantly to a 3v2. And a scrappy buy for Oxygen. They know the stakes. 3 Stingers, a Spectre, a Sheriff, and an 11th possibly for Disguise if they can't win this. And all honestly, a lower bracket run is what's in the cards now for Oxygen if they're not able to pick up this round.
Standing ahead.
And you could tell how much it means every single step. Extremely calculated. Not a single person going for a 1v1. On overstretching for anything. Pull up that util over towards mid. Just trying to see if anyone from Disguised could maybe bite on that.
And they're coming in late towards A. A check back towards A main from Gangsta.
It's going to be the contact from the turret and 2 players ready to execute off of it. They have Nano Storm ready too.
Yep, there it is.
The nades! Oh, it almost traps them. Double nade back over towards Cap, but it doesn't catch them. Is Oxygen going to try this again? They have a smoke, they have the aftershock, and they're still backing out.
And Exalt still holding this cross. The turret's still there to watch. This A main walkout. Exalt. Reliance is on him. Knife to slow down the push as soon as anything comes, and that's the big factor.
Left.
Yeah, they finally have a third person here too. Steel here to help, here to watch the cross, able to get one. He is smoked off though. Teammates are gonna have a bit of trouble. That pre-fire from Pony was perfect. Zip getting 2 does help out the rest of the round, but Oxygen have a chance. Wow!
Clear taken out. No chance there. And now Randy Savage looking for another on that Sheriff.
Verno.
It's on to Verno. Must win this round. Just a spray through the smoke. And a 3K. A 1-on-2, and he takes them both out. 10-4. Oxygen have saved off that death-defying 11.
Excuse me, run that back. What? Where did that last bullet come from? Aiming up a solid 2 inches from his head, from his body.
And it's he literally random flick transfers onto a player jumping Jenny.
Wow. I mean, if there's ever a way to get back into the game, there you go, I guess. Entertaining, and leaves Disguised in a reset. And Oxygen, they're using that Steel playbook to their favor. They do nothing. They chill.
Verno. Huge 1v2, man. And now with Oxygen kind of back in the driver's seat, at least momentarily.
Got the spike.
The only issue I'm seeing with this Oxygen offense is the success on the defense came off the operator, Pony. He rarely picks up the operator. Less than 1% of the time does he like to go to the operator here on the attacking side. So for Oxygen, who does that responsibility fall to? Is it Verno, who stepped up massively in the last best of 3 for Oxygen, who was a key player and we know needed to come up big again? Or is it Scuba, who's had a lackluster first half, a lights out first map, but nothing here in the second?
Why not Mitch? Why can't it be Mitch?
We'll have to see Mitch. He's been consistent, always been consistent on Cloud9 here at Oxygen.
30 seconds left.
As util to clear out, clear. A work
Great
into
util.
B,
They
but
can make this a...
there are 3 players here though. That's the thing with the Skies. 3 players stacked into the back of sight where shorties can be deadly.
Yeah, all of this util for Courtyard isn't getting a single player. Again, 3 players in the middle of this site. It is such a deadly crossfire. 2 trades go back and forth, and what a frag
10
from
seconds
Pony.
left.
Finally getting the site back.
And we'll take it over here to Skies. With Exalted and Steel miles away. Exalt looking to maybe kick
the plan
things
here?
off, and he's just like, wait a
He's
minute.
vibing.
He wants to go down. He only had a shorty.
What a legend.
That's why he couldn't do anything. Now Steel. The Steel Classic Potato 1v3.
I see it happening. Why not?
15 kills, his stat track says.
Very good observation.
Let's see how good he is. Potato Steel.
Actually, come on. 1 or 2 exits, come on. Oh,
Peek, man.
boy.
Peek, man.
Peek. Peek
Biggest
again.
kill. Dang it. Had faith in Steel, but that's at least Oxygen for the time being, right? Keeping things in check. Thank goodness it isn't an eco.
Yeah.
But now the full buyback for this guy is Gangsta. Money to buy and own it if he wanted to, but elects to go to the rifle, so no ultimates lined up. We are close on a couple of them, but I don't think they'll come into this round, so Pony needs to step up, needs to be the entry that Clear was on the Disguise attack, but he has to be here for Oxygen.
Okay. Interesting buys coming out from Oxygen, but they dedicate to the rifles.
I think it's mainly because of the fact that you have 3 rounds kind of to work with here. That you want Scuba to have money for the buy no matter what, able to buy your teammates if you lose this round. Quick play over. Pony looking for that entry again.
Ooh, that paranoia so good. And the angle. He knew that he was going to have to find some high-low here. Steel, good coverage with the paranoia, but he might need a whole lot of help. Owl Drone coming in, and Randy Savage in a 1v1 in B main. Ends up winning it out against Clear. There's the help, though. There's Exalt, and around the corner, Steel not spotted and able to get a kill. Exalt through the wall, through the smoke. Unreal crossfire in mid, shutting all of Oxygen down, except for Mitch. Mitch in a 1v3. He did have some util, but he's fully suppressed. That peek onto Ziff was almost super well timed, but the spike is in his hands. The pace of this round is fully in the hands of Mitch.
I just forgot about Steel in mid. And Mitch is just watching his players fall down one by one. Has the spike and an aftershock and Steel. I would love to see him TP to cancel this plan to give time for his teammates to run out, but he doesn't instead.
Whoa.
Rolling Thunder, and that's a threat actually. Didn't see that coming. Mitch with that kill with 6-8, and now
I'm sure they're
has a
thinking about
chance to play with it.
Yeah, if they just come in through two different sides, the Rolling Thunder won't be able to hit.
I think it hits both of them, to be honest.
No way. Let's see it though. Mitch shows out of contact, 75 HP remaining, trying to take down Ziff. Now he's down to 26. He needs to do everything in his power to just get away from these bullets, and it's just not gonna happen. This guy's had it just from the mid take, and they end up completing it.
Yeah, I think thought Steel TP'd into the back of Boathouse, but that's disguised. Who, in this mid play, like you said, that crossfire just so deadly, but they just forget about Steel here.
Yeah, almost completely.
He threw the paranoia, and they just don't acknowledge him anymore. And Gangsta there to put pressure into those players B main so that there isn't a flank back in towards market. It's enough money to buy, and thankfully Scuba, who did have 3,500 credits with the Spectre, can buy his teammate, and now disguised, now they're playing with fire. Now there's not a lot of room to work with. Now that you're on 11, or probably just Oxygen don't have much room to work with, now that disguised are on 11.
Clear's got the knives. Can make some big impact. As there's one player over towards tiles, one player in mid. Actually has a crossfire with this. That's weird. Clear. This has to be his! But the wide player model. Off the ulti, ends up getting it. Here comes the Exec. Rolling Thunder into the back of sight. Ziff is fully spotted. Exalt is in heaven. He does have a counter flash, but nobody's going to be able to peek with it. Whoa, what is this? What? Gangsta peeks up from Cat. He's going to be able to get free out of this. He equalizes the round. Gangsta does it.
And already Exalt is on site, so they can't get the spike, but there's the frag, and a big trade.
Ooh.
Steel on this lurk again, but they don't know.
Steel has ulti, so he can try to maybe get information off the TP. But he's just going right in. Inferno has the angle, I mean. There goes the 11. There goes the 6th. I mean, where was the opportunity for disguise? They made it their own.
Cakes are going in for a crazy 3K, like through a grav well. Just takes down 3 players, and now Oxygen aren't financially reset. They will have enough credits for a buy. Scuba still kind of lackluster in this map, it feels like. I think he's a player that if you can get to turn up, you could see Oxygen maybe pulling this back. I don't want to call it too early, but that's what you feel. Early contact, and it is going to be Exif to try and get something out of it off of that turret. Nothing there, and a quick pop in towards the AB site.
Oh, Hunter's Fury to not only get info, but get a whole lot of damage. Pony going in, has an opportunity for 2 frags, but the rotation will come in from Steel. Steel needs to do a whole lot of work, but he's currently one weight. He can't do anything in this corner. He's waiting for the cross-up, but he actually gets a big headshot. Pony finally gets the trade, and it's a 2v4.
Yeah. Quick exit here from Oxygen. Pony again to lead the charge. Continues to step up for this Oxygen lineup.
Wow.
Inferno through the wall. Wow, okay, there you go, Oxygen. It feels now a lot of these players starting to click, especially between Mitch and Verno. Both players coming alive. When their team their lifeline in the upper bracket is coming to a halt. But it's Pony over and over again on this double entry, creating so much space.
I mean, I thought that, I thought before the tournament, the impact would come from players like Mitch, but he's finally back, right?
Finally back, coming up decently massive. 10 assists, right? He's
10 assists, man.
doing his job, disguised, a lockdown to play with, and they're leaving mid completely open. There's actually nobody towards his market side. And an early knife will now allow, at least for now, Gangsta to reposition. Turret spots out clear, and he backs away. Takes this aggressive op angle. The rest of his team begins to shift. But this is where Oxygen are coming. Perhaps a read into the fact that the pony op will call for players to rotate. I think
Do they have any idea?
Yeah, I think he knows. Pings it already. Wants to put a star to either grab up and cuss him. He does. Cuss to get clear off the angle.
But Clear's going to be able
You should run.
to, readjust here. I think he might have gotten spotted, but I don't think it matters. The lockdown in. He's still hoping for a peek here. He's still hoping for a pixel, and indeed is going to get that opportunity. Clear with a big frag, but it's just the one. Oxygen should have sight, but the lockdown goes in. 3 players haven't crossed yet. Only one hasn't. He's going for the plant.
And there's Hunter's Fury here for Oxygen. They do get the plant, and that's Scuba. Scuba alone on the site. Mitch,
Do they know how many people are inside?
big kill back. Pony tucked in towards logs. All 4 players grouped up in front of B main or in B main.
I mean, they have no idea how many of these players are here. It's just the element of surprise. Finally, 2 players making it over towards site, but they have the flank. Verno takes down Steel. Disguised are now down to 2. Do they even go for it?
They have to back away. Oh, picked up already. I can't imagine Oxygen finding a way to recover that.
Hey.
Only 1 player gets to sight, and the rest, they just prevent this guy from stepping foot. Nobody gets out of spawn. And Oxygen continuing this comeback story, keeping themselves once more alive here in the series.
Yeah, definitely need a second look at the utility at the start of that take, especially because we just didn't see a smoke back over towards B main, and also those players just did not want to cross over towards site. And this is a big, big timeout. Late game. This guy's looking to close it out, but again, going towards that replay, if we can ever get it, but going towards that play, just, man, Oxygen. They had all the space in the world to potentially make it over to short, but they just didn't.
And this time it's Steel calling the timeout instead of Ocean. We'll see, again, if the theme of timeout, no rounds after, like they had in the first half, if this timeout will be enough to put Disguised over the line.
I mean, there's a lot of minds on this team. I mean, you got the coach, you also have Steel. I mean, if there's ever a time now where Disguise could kind of change up that tempo, it would be now. I mean, we haven't seen some of those one-off attempts to try to get, deeper picks. It could be now where Clear is finally let go.
All picked up for him. Once again, Clear, who found almost a nearly impeccable double in the last. A full switch up, a full mid play, knife towards top mid. They want outside B, and they see nothing. They have to know this is an A hit. But nobody moves. And with the lesser guns, what can you do here?
It's very slow. It's very, very quiet. Finally, the peak happened. But look how many players are here. It's just unbelievable. 5 players. They all have the contact. But how many players are here on site? How many players can actually get a kill on? Pony has free line of sight over towards Cat. How does that kill go into heaven? Verno with a shot through the wall. Zip is in the back of sight using a lockdown. Nobody is in the back of sight for Oxygen in Disguised. They shut that all down with only 2 kills. It was just so tough for Oxygen to make that cross, but with so many players, it's pretty obvious.
Still winnable here, though, as Disguised.
Here.
3 versus 3, and here they come. Exif back towards Kappa. They actually go the other way. The head doesn't get spotted, so he doesn't know that these players have crossed towards mid. And Clear, completely oblivious to this kind of play.
30 seconds left.
Maybe Clear will hear something, but this is the sort of spot where you want the opper hard holding an angle.
This is the only place they could be now, and with this start comes out Clear. He doesn't spin back. He
What?
takes full B main control
Clear.
instead, and will give Oxygen at least the sight for now. Clear. Maintaining B main. Checked.
Now he comes
Sees
back.
nothing.
10 seconds left.
Looks like they just didn't know the recon was there. Clear is coming back. It's going to be that full 3v3. But with the Hunter's Fury, there's no way they could readjust him back into B main. Full control here for Disguise. They even use a turret to try to cover their flank.
Nowhere to run!
But the Hunter's Fury comes out so early. Clear, forced into action. There's one player up front. There's an Astra maybe looking to push, but it's just not going to happen. Hunter's Fury does take a little bit of damage off of Clear, but here comes the crossfire finally. Clear looking for an angle, not able to find anything. Kill onto Gangsta. Ziff down to 17. And Oxygen might have just put themselves back into regulation.
And what a way it would have been if it would have been one of these ecos, right? Where the op is saved, the rifle is saved. They stave off the 12. And a slow walk up. I mean, Oxygen have been playing the Disguise style, the Steel style for these past couple of rounds. Slow kind of walk up contact hits into these
That's what I'm
sites. And
saying.
it's been held back by Disguise in that last round. But they do it again back towards mid. Where at the last second, where there's no time for Disguise to rotate. Oxygen putting on the 9th. Disguise, they have rifles. The op still for Clear to work with. But they are running out of time. The adaptation worked in that last round. Can they replicate it here again?
Oh. Do they know that it's a double? Clear's behind this. Not going to do anything with it. So the play style is set once again, where Oxygen holds on to the brakes, looking for any sort of opportunity to get into a site. And they're going to make one themselves. Owl Drone going in just to get some information. Maybe bait in a rotation, bait in a contact.
Result does end up dodging. She has a nanostorm out in front, has 2 flashes, a knife here to cancel the exec in a second. But Oxygen, they end up backing away. That knife checks nothing, sees nothing.
Ooh.
But it's a re-hit here. That's what they wanted to do. And this could be the demise here of Disguise on the A site. 45 seconds left. Keep note of the time here as Pony starts to work his way up. It's up to these individual fights between A main and Garden.
Yeah, the smoke in mid, it does everything they need. Close up into Cat. They can scale in with the fault line.
My bot.
They are through. Only one person in the back of A that could be able to get a pick here. Exalt is not getting smoked out, so he could actually get one and done. One and move out. And no way! Randy Savage is the one that gets the pick there. Pick coming back for Clear. Could get a few more.
And Rolling Thunder here online as well for Oxygen. And they're going to use it.
Oh, it goes
Actually
early.
gets everybody.
Tony.
Zip gets knocked as well. That is so much space for Oxygen.
But what do they get out of it? They get a flash in too. Pony finally takes down Zip. They isolate the last 2 into heaven.
And Scuba just tucked underneath. Gangsta just spamming. It's another save here from
Do they leave with the
Disguise.
op?
I think they have to. What? That's like almost 7,000 credits that they picked up the Odin as well. And they're going hunting. They want these kills. They can't let them get away.
Big frag.
And Gangsta skates by with
They
one.
hurt him.
And Scuba knows, and Steel's watching. I think Scuba can go down here. It's fine to go for the honey to get one. It's worth it. They don't check. Steel.
Oh,
At least
he
holds on to
saves
the
it.
operator.
Good
Just-
stuff.
Literally just barely.
Wow. Wow. But don't think Steel could see that angle there. Doesn't matter. The rest of this take, though, the knife doesn't see anything. They take full advantage as there's only one here. But the retake for Cat was such a good attempt. The Rolling Thunder, they had a jet on the front line. Players able to punish off the Rolling Thunder. Now we're on to the next. We're Disguised. They might just be giving up an 11.
Bot out.
I've seen the Steel op before when he was on 100 Thieves and when he was on T1. Here, we are in for a treat.
Here.
The Steel operator out towards mid. And Clear is, I presume, there to pick it up off his dead body. He goes down.
Why dead?
Because the Steel operator is actually sometimes incredibly inefficient. Because he's holding an angle, especially when he played KJ, it was a little more viable, but on Yeoman, he holds an angle, and he has to smoke is the only problem. So he has to come off the angle and off the scope, losing almost all the control there.
He is rotating quite early though, so let's not doubt full steal. Let's not doubt it. But the first pick potential is a lot more difficult on the Omen. Can be a little bit more mobile just off of the TP. Let's see what Steel does. Peeking out of the smoke.
Okay, Steel.
Able to get the one. TPing into the back of sight, looking to help out the rest of the team. Nobody is out in the middle of the open for Disguise. 3 players in the back of sight, and it's working. Zip gets a big headshot on the ball.
Oh,
Clear! Clearing him out, getting 2 through the smoke, and he even gets the 3rd. Disguised 1 away from Challengers.
And where I doubted Steel, he comes up, gets into sight, and delays. I mean, Steel's up, ineffective sometimes, but he gets 1. That's all you needed. That's all you wanted from Steel. Never doubt NA's best. And Clear there to just clean things up as soon as Steel gets that kill. And you can see the impact it has.
Placing swamp grenade.
It is such a nice delay. And now Oxygen.
Bring glory.
Now Oxygen.
Uh-oh.
They had room to work with. Now they don't. It's one mess up and they're out.
No setup on B though. There's only one person here. They're going for a big mid play to try to shut this down. And they might have found the gap. Everyone for this team is over towards the B side. Clear finds 1 and definitely found a lot more in terms of a contact. The call out is there that they're all B.
But that's mid play worked and they're funneling into again.
KJ's over rotating.
The steal up, the stop. And he holds.
Well, there's a reason why. They have the jet in the middle of spawn. Full control of the rotations here for Disguised.
Yeah, and I think Scuba's pretty wary of it. He did a jump spot, didn't see anything, and Clear.
Oh.
Not fully aware that mid is clear. We'll have to come back for a second. Verno, he hears the drone, so he knows, okay, we have a lot of space.
Ooh.
Disguised have so much space on this map. And Clear makes the early rotate. And I think this will cause a shift for at least one of these Disguised players to make a rotate over. And it should be here soon as Clear makes his contact.
Whoa.
The util comes up almost instant. And he gets 1. Unbelievable from Clear.
Just great timing. There was no way that Pony expected that. Now Oxygen. Scared of A main, redirecting back over towards Cat.
30 seconds left.
And it might just be a double threat here. The Jet can easily peek with this. Zip is going to have the first contact. Here we go. Cosmic Divide in, fault line in, and Clear's only able to get 1 out of it. Zip!
Spike down.
Hands of Steel, holding on to Cat. Holding on from behind that aftershock, and now Scuba in a 1v1. Does he have any idea that there's a man back sight? Has no idea. Disguised Toast has made it to Challengers.
The redemption arc of Seal has only just begun. From team to team, again, this guy Steel puts teams on the map. He leads another lineup to a major event, and now they compete in 2023. Congratulations to Disguise, and I mean, what an iconic way. Steel at the top of the table as well at the end of the map. Disguise, they've done it 13-10 on map 2, 13-4 on map 1 in 2-0 fashion, in dominant fashion between these last 2 days. They make it work, and they have themselves the 2nd spot through the qualifiers in Challengers.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that we ended up seeing such influence from Disguise throughout this entire series, right? The first map controlling tempo, the second map controlling tempo entirely, to the point where the other team couldn't help but just replicating their style entirely, right? It was really one-sided, and Oxygen, it's unfortunate, but they still have that second chance over towards lowers, but you can't help but to think that that was just too dominant.
Yeah, and there are 2 more opportunities for both of our teams that have fallen to the lower bracket. They have their lower bracket matchup, which is still a qualifying game, and then they have the last chance qualifier, which happens right after this one in 1 week. So chances are running low for these teams, but Disguise Toast, your team has made it. I don't know why you sponsored the Valorant team, but I am grateful you sponsored this Valorant team because they have proven everyone wrong. Steel, again, the redemption arc is complete, pulls his team to the top. The X-Knights core roster has made it through, and they're just waiting for their boy Scuba. But for now, we have a winner's interview on the other side of this break. It's 2-0 for Disguise Toast's team, and we'll be back with a winner's interview in just a little bit. So we got to watch, of course, Disguise qualify for Challengers out of Open Qualifier number 1. And now we have our winner's interview. We're going to be sitting out with the big brain, the big Steel. I was going to say the big arm, but that's Days. Welcome in, Steel. We're in for the pip. There it is, Steel. How are you feeling, man, after this huge victory for yourself?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Tiny bit of redemption, but we'll see what goes on in the future.
That's what we were saying, man. We're saying, so for yourself, this is a redemption arc in the sense that you've done it with 2 teams. You did it with 100 Thieves. You did it with T1. Now you've done it here with Disguised Toasts. I guess we'll call it your 3rd organization, if you will. But you're playing with a different lineup, the X-Knight score, and you have Ocean at your side. Can you tell us maybe some differences in the side of having Ocean as your coach, or at least maybe some differences in having this working with a core that are extremely familiar with themselves?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the core, it's like a lot of the stuff that we're doing is stuff that we're bringing together. It's not, even though you have a core sometimes when they might be familiar with chemistry or how people play or anything, you still have to create a new structure where everyone's able to come and learn something new, because the missing pieces of the puzzle, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th players, the coach, the IGL, everything that changes there is a substantial change. So yeah, we just kind of took it day by day, played our practice games, and then slowly implemented stuff over like very long, tedious hours of VOD review. Like literally, like I'm not even joking when I say like we would stay after practice for like 3, maybe even 4 hours, and we still wouldn't even be done talking about the stuff. So like, yeah, we were doing like 10, 12-hour days sometimes.
I mean, we can only guess, and we can only guess like what your mentality is about this, but I mean, this team is just different. The setup behind it, the stakes behind it, it's not as high as the ones that you've had before, but there's still a lot of hope behind it. What makes this team, this move to this team different from the other 2 projects you've had?
I don't know. I think like part of it is just like when I moved to 100 Thieves, it was like they were bringing me in, they had like an idea of like what they wanted to do, and it was like, oh, we want to create this project with these CS veterans, get these like new Zoomer kids, and kind of like get a jump start on this game. When I transitioned to T1, I was brought in as an experienced IGL, but they had the coach, they had players already there, and they were kind of like, they had an idea, but it wasn't like a fully developed, fleshed out plan from the head coach, or like he had a fleshed out plan. He wasn't able to execute it properly. And then when I moved to this project, it's like me and Ocean are just like, we're cut from the same cloth to the old school CS players. So, like we approach the game the same way. Like when we talk about Valorant, it's like the CS analogies, because it's so easy to just be like, yeah, like in CS, it's easy with this map and this is the position. It's a super simple equation. And this game, even though there's a lot of util, like different agents, different abilities, and different things that you could do, different like combos, when you boil it down to its core, like you can make it very simple. And I think like CS is really simple at its root, and you can make a lot of analogies so people can understand like, oh, this map plays like that map from CS, or this this style of like double peeking, or this style of just like everything, rotations, gamble stacking. You're up, like how are you going to close out a game? You're down, what are you going to do on eco, stuff like that. Everything is just transition from CS, and then you just like add a little spice to it.
I love that. I love that kind of work. You and Ocean as well go way back, so obviously I expected some kind of connection there. Obviously you talk about how things kind of boil down and are really simple, and how you work 10 to 12 hours every single day. So now that you've made it, you're in Challengers for Split 1 and Split 2, and presumably Ascension playoffs, hopefully. What are we looking forward to you guys coming into the first split, where you have those 6 already invited teams? Is there anyone you're looking out for? What are you guys going to be doing to prepare yourselves to go up against those guys?
Now that we've qualified, I think we're ready for like a 2-week vacation. We're actually going to take our foot right off the gas. Like honestly, job's done. Like
Perfect.
Why put in more effort? Like
job's done.
That's just stupid, like.
Why work anymore? Like we're already signed. Who cares? Like it doesn't matter.
Like I don't. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. We're gonna keep working hard and try to beat the teams that are in the tournament.
Love that. I wanted some crazy steel brain, like, yeah, we're gonna switch up our whole entire play style, but no, I love it. You're just gonna keep working hard, head down. But
well, like when we made the team, like we obviously haven't had that long to prepare. We created the team, like I don't know, like 4 of us maybe like a month ago. Like we still weren't even like sure if like Clear was going to join until like around this time a month ago.
Wow.
And we got Exalt like a few weeks ago. So it's like we haven't had a lot of time to prepare and like explore different comps and stuff. So a lot of like the agent comps that we run on the maps are pretty like cookie cutter, like they're the meta type of stuff. We haven't really gone too far outside of the meta with stuff. So now we'll have time to maybe experiment with things and find out what our map pool's like. We have Split coming in and one other map's coming back, and then we're losing Bind and Breeze. Lotus is in, so you know, approaching those maps, finding out what our strengths are, finding out if we can change up their comps a little bit. All that stuff is going to be things that we have to figure out in the next couple of weeks, I guess.
Got it. Yeah, I guess that applies to every team. I got the Steel big brain answer of the really dumb question. What are you going to do moving forward? But Steel, huge congratulations to qualifying the Challengers. We're excited to see you in the rest of 2023. Are there any shout outs, anyone you want to call out before we head things off, and anything you want to say?
Yeah, thank you to Toast. I'm sorry for making you stressed out there, and I'm sure the rest of the gang is also feeling very thank you about that. And you know, this is just the beginning. You still got many more tournaments to stress over, so strap in for the ride. And then
hell yeah,
yeah. I mean, thanks to all the fans. We'll be back stronger.
Got it. Well, thank you so much, Steel. Congratulations. We're going to let you go and enjoy your win. But for us, that's going to close out our winners interview. And well, Gus, it's been an action-packed day of Valorant. We had, unfortunately, the nation going out to a crazy team breakthrough comeback. And then, of course, Disguised Toast is, you know, the famous Twitch streamer. His esports team made it through. That's cool.
No, Disguised Toast himself has won a Valorant best of 3 to move on to Challengers.
Yeah, he 1v5'd the entire tournament. It was crazy.
Yeah, unprecedented. You guys should watch it back, but also you guys should watch more. Tomorrow, we are back with 2 more best of 3s, the final best of 3s of the Open Qualifier section. But of course, we still have the LCQ next week. But tomorrow, I mean, we're still waiting up for those matchups, but the 2 teams you saw lose today will be playing again tomorrow. Yeah, and so again, more exciting Valorant. I know it's been a late night, so make sure you stop by again to one of our sponsors, Sheets. Why not get Sheets? They're open, I think, 24/7. Try Sheets on the go, order online, on the app, scan and pay for your favorites. You know the deal. It's been a late night. Get yourself a stack, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more Valorant action here on the North American VALORANT channel at Valorant_North America. See you guys at the same time, same place, all day, every day.
To some, this is nothing more than cardboard and ink. But to those who know, these are precious metals, rare gems, a full set it took 15 years to complete. Low-pop rookies, hypnotizing hollows, one of only a handful in the universe, or an heirloom to look after for the next generation. No matter what you collect, raw or graded, to have and to hold, or to crush your opponents with, what matters is that it's real. Introducing eBay's Authenticity Guarantee for trading cards. Our third-party authenticators inspect every detail of your card and compare it to the listing to make sure it's the real deal or no deal, because we know just how much your collection means to you.
Finally, you can stay in control of your thumbsticks. Natural evolution gave the gecko its amazingly strong grip. Our multi-patented SetX technology duplicates the microstructured fibers on a gecko's foot for a revolutionary new way to get a grip on game controller thumbsticks. Like a gecko's foot, the thousands of microstructures on each SetX anti-slip thumbstick grip provide high friction to the skin surface for a secure, comfortable grip, even when sweaty, giving you a competitive advantage. Stay in control with the secure and comfortable grip of SetX thumbstick grips. Inspired by nature, perfected by science.